Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your girl, Jessimae. This is the Sharp Tongue Podcast. I put the Patreon information right on the bottom. Boop, boop, boop. Join the Patreon club, patreon.com/Jessimae Paluso to get exclusive videos. I appreciate that you guys have been wondering where I've been for the past couple weeks. I have been through a lot. You know, life gets difficult sometimes, and sometimes you just gotta take a step back and recalibrate, and you have to focus your energy in a way so that you can be available to your responsibilities and available to your commitments. And so, first of all, thank you for listening. Thank you for downloading and subscribing and all of the things. I feel really fortunate to be able to have this platform, and I don't take it for granted. That being said, you can all go fuck yourselves. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just got done recording or filming a Netflix show. That's why my voice is kind of gone. I'm a singer. It was a show about me being a singer. No, it was a show about tattoos. I can't really show you all my tattoos right now because of the show, but hey, you know what? I'll take my hair down and maybe that'll be a distraction. We filmed this amazing show with the executive producers from Ink Master and had a bunch of enormously and immensely talented tattoo artists. I hosted, and it was such an amazing experience. A COVID safe set, I should say, not COVID friendly, because that would mean we all have COVID. But no, it was a closed set, as they call it, where everyone got COVID tested. I had people come into my house to COVID test me. Swabs were going up my nose every day, and it was quite the fiasco, but it was done really well. I feel like I made new friends for life. These people were amazing, and it opened my eyes to the world of tattooing. Like, I knew about tattoos and the world a little bit, but the business side of it it's a grind, kind of like how, you know, you sort of have to spread your wings the way I have in my career, where I'm doing podcasting and you do different shows and you do tapings like with Netflix. Then you go out on the road and you start merchandising, and they're all doing that sort of thing. You know, they have shops and merch, and they're starting to spread their wings as far as like other business ventures that they're getting into. So it was really dope to be on a show that featured an industry that I have always been interested in, and to learn about that side, to learn about the different sides of it. So it was so much fun. And our rap party, we rented out this sushi restaurant, and we, you know, who doesn't fucking love sushi? First of all, it's on whenever I'm like hungover, I'm like, I want sushi. Or if I'm like, if I'm feeling like I want to be fancy, I want sushi. And when we were done, like if I'm tired, you know, and I just want something delicious, like I worked all day, I want sushi. So we rented out this sushi place, 10, shout out to 10 in Irvine. Oh shit. Shout out to 10 in Irvine. My freaking audio went back on. I'm sorry, guys. We're going to get this all working. I swear to God. We rented out this sushi restaurant that was just so delicious. And I was like, man, I don't know if this is going to be like a party if we're just going to chill. Then we were doing shrooms until 6 a.m. I was like, okay. We went out with a banger. Literally. I was wrapped up like a tortilla, like a burrito, until 6 a.m. I was so stoned. I'm still recuperating. If you're listening to this and you want to see the remnants of me being up for 24 hours straight, because we had like 13-hour days that we filmed, and the last day was no exception. You know, it was an emotional day because it was our last shoot day, and it was an exhausting day because of the hours. And then to, you know, wrap it all up and want to have like some sort of soiree, we were like, fuck it. Let's get some hotel rooms. I mean, we already had hotel rooms. Let's get a couple more. So one of the EPs was nice enough to block off a couple rooms so we could be loud and not bother people. And then we were like, well, let's continue this party and let's just do some shrooms. We were all shrooming. We shroomed so hard. And I was filled with an overwhelming sense of love, and also filled with shrooms, which led me to be filled with love. And then I don't know why I got wrapped up like a baby. Let me see if I can find the fucking photo. If I can find this photo, I will put it up. I've got it. So I'll have it be inserted right here. And you guys will see. Let's see what side. This side? Look, wait. Look at me. Look at me. I look ridiculous. And then Rose, who's one of the tattoo artists, said that I looked like this creature from some movie. So she sent that photo. And I was like, okay. So I just looked like a witch in a in a hood. It was a long couple of weeks. And I'm also exhausted because, well, before I get into that, I want to thank all of the crew, the production company. We worked with an amazing production company. Kevin Bartel was just so gracious. And all of the tattoo artists. We had Tommy Montoya, we had Twig Sparks, Rose Hardy, Matt Beckenrich, we had Miriam Lupini, and did I say Twig Sparks? Yeah. We had all of those amazing artists, and I'll make sure you guys connect with them. There's some of them are in Florida, some are in Los Angeles and New York. So if you want to get tattooed, I highly recommend them. Their artwork is outstanding. They're booked up. They're the type of people who have like a 2-year waiting list, but take it from somebody with some shitty tattoos. Wait the time to find the right artist, because it saves you time, it saves you money, and you might as well get it done right the first time. Man, my tattoos, we'll get into that in another episode, but just some tattoos, like I maybe I should have just Googled a motherfucker. Just Google a little bit. It's all you got to do. Aside from that, before I get into my mom's stuff, I am going to be doing a couple Dr. Paluso questions that I didn't get to because of missed episodes. So those will come up on this episode. And I'm also going to feature a couple voicemails that I think I got during the time I had told you guys something was going on with my mom. So all that considered. So my mom's stuff. So yeah, my mom, she's not out of the weeds. She had a whole bunch of things sort of happen after this one initial thing occurred. She wasn't feeling good this summer. And without going into too much detail, because I obviously am protective of my family and I don't feel the need to broadcast it so much, she wasn't feeling good this summer for a few months, and her digestion was off and her energy, and her digestive system, her gut, her belly just was off. Carlin, can you take your bones someplace else, please? Just Carlin I'm right here trying to discuss what's going on with my mom, and it's like, so she wasn't feeling good for months leading up to this one particular night. And it turned out I think a couple Fridays ago, she just was in extreme pain, like immense pain. And she went to get that taken care of. They said that she had a twisted colon, that she had to have emergency surgery because it was a 50-50 shot for people to live with that particular type of surgery, especially in her age range and all of the other pre-existing situations that were going on with her. So they had to take care of it. So they prepped her for surgery immediately. And my mom is 72 years old. She'll be 73 this year. And while she was in the waiting room to go into surgery, the prep room, she went into cardiac arrest. And luckily enough, her boyfriend was with her and was in the room with her and able to see what was going on. She just kind of slumped over and they had to defibrillate her. She coded out and they had to defibrillate her 3 times. And my mom's a little woman. She's a very petite woman and, she's older. So CPR and when people are brought back by CPR, it can be a very violent and traumatic event. So they brought her back, but she still had to go into surgery. So she had to get sedated for surgery, all while having endured this cardiac arrest. So as you can imagine, I've spoken about a couple of her pre-existing issues, but just because I am a firm believer in spreading information, it's not an exploitation. It's me. My goal is to spread information and experience so that if anybody else goes through it, that maybe this could help avoid some scenarios. She has COPD, which is a lung disease. She has in the past had, symptoms of emphysema. She has lupus. She's also, like I said, a very petite woman and thin and not necessarily frail, but teetering on that type of body type. So there was it was 24, 48 hours of my sister and I not knowing if we were going to have a mom. So that was right in the middle of my production. That was right in the middle of me filming for Netflix. And I was like, is this real life? Is this real life? That's what it just felt like, It's like selfishly, I'm like, this is one of the most amazing experiences and opportunities of my career. One of my more exciting gigs that I've had. And here's the most important woman in my life, experiencing the most difficult trauma she's ever had. So it was just, I felt like, I was like, I need to get to her because we didn't know what was going to happen. I was like, I have to get to her. And Netflix and the production company and everybody was so, so supportive. You guys don't understand that, in this industry, the amount of support I got is unprecedented. It just doesn't happen. The amount of understanding and literally the executive of the production company was like, I'll book your flights. I will help however I can. You need to go home to your mom. So it was such an amazing experience. I just truly feel that everything aligned the way it did. I think things happen for a reason, but had I been with I just can't imagine being able to survive had I been with a different crew, a different cast, a different production company, a different platform. Everybody was so fucking supportive. And that's what got me through. I didn't have to they didn't make me make a decision. They didn't force me to choose one or the other. And you have to understand how wild that is because this time we're in, it's really hard for production to go through because the COVID regulations and restrictions and protocol for production right now is so strict. Everyone had masks on set. We had nurses on set testing us every day or whatever the requirements were. We had questionnaires to fill out. We couldn't go anywhere. We had a quarantine. We had very a specific COVID code of conduct. You're welcome for that alliteration to follow in order to get this done, this production done. So all of that being considered, they still were supportive. they were willing to do whatever it took to get me what I needed and take care of my family. So this whole experience just, it changed me. It's just a show. Look at me getting all squiggly in my chair because I'm getting emotional. It just let me know that it's okay to rely on people. And it changed me because it filled my heart. Like, even though my mom is still struggling to have that amount of support, I know this is supposed to be a fucking comedy podcast. I've been holding it together, trying to hold it together. You know, I went through this 2 years ago with my dad, and that was hard enough. And my mom has been such a supportive, important person in my life that to be faced with almost losing her with these new people in my life, feeling completely supported, was the only thing that kept me from breaking down. And this isn't a breakdown. This is like appreciation. This is gratitude. This is me realizing how fortunate I am. And not only that, am I screaming now? I can't hear through my tears. Not only that, like, just knowing my value, like Netflix totally supporting me and making me feel that I am important to the project and that they value what I was doing, and all of it was just a beautiful experience. And my mom, like I said, she's not out of the weeds, but she is so strong and healing. My sister and I keep repeating that to each other every day. You know, it's hard to have a positive mindset. I know how exhausting it is, and you guys always comment to me about my positive mindset. It doesn't mean that I don't feel things, but it takes a lot to continue to believe and have faith. And I believed and I have faith, and I keep saying that. And I kept saying that during the production, that my mom is strong, she's healing, she's strong, she's healing no matter what. When anybody asked me, that was it. And that's why I asked you guys on my socials, please send out your energy, please send out your positive vibes. I've been meditating every day, drinking my mud water. I got my mud water right here. Trying to not stress out. Coffee makes me too wild. So I've got my mud water to keep me level and feel, like I'm managing my stress. And it's just, so she's not out of the weeds or the woods, however you want to say it. I think it's when you're in the weeds, when you're fucked. That's what we used to say when we were bartending. Like, we're in the weeds. So she's not out of the woods, which is like creepy. That's where creatures are. And there's like creatures in the woods trying to get us. So yeah, she's not out of the woods. But the doctors have, my sister was like, she's a miracle. And the doctors are like, no, your mom's unbelievable. Like, what she's already endured and how she's handling each day, your mother is unbelievable. It's beyond a miracle at this point. So I truly believe that you guys helped with that and being so supportive. And I don't know how many times I've said supportive, but probably too many times. I've probably overused supportive at this point. Carlin, how much of that are you going to eat? It's so loud. You probably are done with the word supportive, so we'll move on. Point of the matter with this whole recap is the production went amazing. We did have a little bit of a break so I could get home to my mom and visit her and see her. But it was quick. And, I was able to finish the production. Nobody got sick on set, which was amazing. Everybody was healthy and taken care of. And I made new friends. And I feel like it's a beautiful new relationship with Netflix, which is very exciting. And I feel like a new person. I feel so much stronger. Even though I'm crying like a fucking baby, I feel so much stronger. Carlin, can you bring that to your bed? Go in your bed. I just got Carlin back, so he's right on my dick. I gave him a bath, and now he's like, won't leave my side. So this motherfucker's chewing on his bone right underneath my damn podcast studio table like a maniac. Okay, Dr. Paluso was out of the office, but she's back in, and she still has some tears in her face, but that's okay. Dr. Paluso's a person first, right? And a board uncertified doctor second. So let's answer some questions. M. Kirky 31. No question, just wanted to send some positive thoughts from Mom and Nance. Listen. All of your positivity is received. I may not see every single message, but if you send it, I receive it. So thank you so much. I will let my mom know. I told the doctor, I had a phone call with the ICU neurologist, and he was, saying all of these terminology, all this word and medical jargon and all these things. And I was like, look, I know 6 of the 37 medical terms you used only because of Grey's Anatomy. But what I do know is that you guys are great. And the one thing that's missing is some spirit. I need some fucking spirit surrounding my mom. I know there's machines beeping and bopping, and there's medication, and there's syringes and vials and pills and, oxygen tanks and intubations and all the things that help keep someone alive. But spirit and faith and whatever you believe in, whatever that means to you, has to be there as well. And because of COVID, the visiting hours are restricted to 1 person per day for only a 4-hour time frame. So my sisters had to rotate with some family in Syracuse. So my mom isn't getting all of that spirit. And so the doctor, after he explained all of the things that my mother had endured and the struggles and what everything means and what, a positive or like a realistic outcome was, which that day was not so great. He said, is there anything that you need from me? Because I wasn't being a bitch, because he's doing everything he can. But I was contesting him a little bit because I just wasn't hearing a lot of spirit, and I know it's not his job. And I said, I know it's not your job to provide the love, but if there's anything you can do to talk to your staff and your attendings, if there's anything, and that's only because I watched Grey's Anatomy. I know what an attending and a resident and medical student, all that, no big deal. Grey's Anatomy, McSteamy, hi, how are you? I'm available and single. If there's any way you can let your staff know that we allow and request some more love in that room, just touching her, holding her hand, telling her that her daughters miss her and love her to the moon and back. Whatever spirit means to you, if you can bring that into her room, I will be eternally indebted to you. And the next text I got was from my sister saying the doctor was in the room with mom, holding her hand and talking to her. And my mom started to get better. And I'm not saying and attributing it just to the spirit, but you're fucking right. There is something there. How can there not be? We're born out of cosmic dust. How can love not be somewhat of a propeller, somewhat of a ignition in everything we do? I mean, essentially everything we do is either for love or because of the lack of love in our life. Every single thing can be chopped down to that. I'm a firm believer of it. You're either driven by it or you're driven by the lack of love that you had in your life. So thank you, M. Kirky, for asking me about my mom. Hotel Alone Music. Do you ever play video games or have a favorite? I don't play video games because I don't have any time. I think if I had time, maybe I need to make time for video games. I don't even know what I would play. You guys should send me what you think I'd be good at, because you listen to me every week. You hear me talk. You know how I am. Email me what video games you think I should play. Jessimae Paluso comedy@gmail.com. Send me some suggestions. Let me know what you think I should be playing, and maybe I'll do like a live feed. I know they have Twitch and other platforms for that, but I think that would be a lot of fun. Also, BAM will be up and running again as well. We probably won't be doing it every week just because I plan on helping my mom rehab once she gets out of the ICU. So we are going to be doing BAM, but maybe like every other week. Send those movie suggestions to Jessimae Paluso comedy at gmail.com. LCG. Hey girl, no question. Just want to let you know your podcast episodes are awesome. Girl, thank you. If you haven't already, go on to iTunes and leave us a review. Let us know how you feel about us. And by us, I mean me and my 3 dogs. And Stamos and his family and McSteamy and Brad Pitt. Let us all know. Casey Wah, are you doing okay? No. You know what I have decided is that in times like this, I say this to myself. I have a little bit of a mantra for difficult times. I'm okay. I'm not okay. And I can't even, I have it written down. I'm okay and I'm not. And I'm okay with that. So basically it's like, yeah, I'm okay, but I'm not okay. But I'm okay with that. And it just encapsulates feeling like sometimes good and sometimes not so good. And that's fine. You don't need to be okay all the time. And sometimes we ask each other, how you doing? And we don't really want the real answer. It's just a societal standard. Well, I'll give you the real fucking answer whether you want it or not. Sometimes I'm not okay. Maybe I should just save it for this podcast. It's like me just crying every week now. No, that's why I couldn't record the past 2 weeks, because it just was so difficult to muster up any sort of entertaining energy outside of what I already had committed to for Netflix. So that's why I was missing. I felt like I wanted to give you guys the podcast that you're used to listening to, and that I didn't want to have to fake anything. But then again, I was like, you know what? This whole podcast is so I can be real and be uncensored. So I guess I should just podcast through the difficult times, and the real ones will be there. You know, you guys have been here since day one, and I think I've kept it pretty fucking raw, a little too raw. But yeah, I felt like I was at the bottom of my emotional barrel, and I needed to preserve whatever extra fuel I had just to get through the day, and to also show up for Netflix, and to have a little bit extra for myself at the end of the day. And that's where I was. That's how and why I handled the past 2 weeks the way I did. Lamb 381388. Does it make me weird to be genuinely intrigued by OnlyFans accounts? Weird? No. A typical human? Are you let me see if you're a dude. Let me look at you. Oh yeah. Wait. I can't tell if you're a dude. Oh yeah, you're a dude. You're smoking something in your profile photo. It doesn't make you weird, but like it, bitches are making money, and I don't hate on it at all. You know, I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do to get on OnlyFans. Am I going to podcast in a sports bra? Am I going to, my limits are to like a sports bra. I can't show my butthole. I just can't. And I'm not judging girls that do that. I said do. Get it? Because they're buttholes. I have a friend who made like 30 G's in a month. And I was like, well, maybe I need to show my butthole. But then again, yeah, I talk about it too much to show it. I think it would be a lot. I think it feels like I already show it by how much I talk about it. So maybe I should just save my butthole content for OnlyFans, but you won't see a butthole. Let me know your thoughts, you guys. Send me your messages. Let me know what you think about all that. If I should do an OnlyFans account and what I should put on there. Philly M7. I'll eat your poop. What? What? Why? Why would you ever do that? We're not there yet. And I'm not even talking about us. I'm talking about like as people. We don't need to eat poop. We still have resources. Sir, I would question that. Maybe you're just being silly, but I also know there is like fecal fetish, and it just rubs me the wrong way. I gotta be honest. I don't know how I feel about the fecal fetish. I don't want you to eat my poop. I really don't. That's not something that I'm offering unless you'll pay for it on OnlyFans. So maybe that'll be on the menu. Maybe we're going to be scooping my poop on OnlyFans. We don't know. We don't know where this is going to go. Leon Vega Suarez. Period sex, yay or nay? I say yay. Why not? It kind of provides a little bit of lubrication. I know that's gross, but that's just the way life is. It provides a little bit of lubrication. Women tend to be horny on their period, depending on the day. Usually leading up to our periods, we are like, we just want to munch on dicks all day. We just want to like Cookie Monster cocks all afternoon. And then other days we want to murder you. And then during our period, we just want to be left the fuck alone. But there are a couple days where you're like, I need to be stuffed like a Thanksgiving turkey. And I don't care. I don't care who, how, why, when, or where. Just please someone stuff me like a Thanksgiving turkey. There should be an app, Stuffed, where women can just have healthy, safe sex, where a man can just show up and he's a gentleman and he makes us feel like we're also his girlfriend, and then he stuffs us like a turkey, cleans up after himself, hangs up whatever fell off the hook and puts his shoes away and then just leaves. Not without his shoes. He puts his shoes on. When he comes in, he's very neat. But then when he leaves, he takes his shoes off the neat place he puts them on, and just leaves. I want somebody to design the app for me. Stuffed. A woman's way to get some D. Tiger GS 55. Do chill pills really exist? Yeah, they're called edibles. They're called THC. It's called, even pills on the real. There's certain adaptogens that you can take that will help relieve stress. Ashwagandha, I take almost every single day. It is helpful in managing your stress and sort of keeping you kind of calm. Also, reishi, you should get some mud water. Here I am just like chit chatting. Meanwhile, yeah, this has a whole bunch of adaptogens in it. Specifically, reishi and ashwagandha are amazing mushrooms that help relieve stress, and I use both of them regularly. Mudwater has, and you guys heard it from the beginning of the podcast, but it's got lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, reishi, and I think they're coming out with a sleepy blend that has a whole bunch of delicious ingredients in it that help you go to bed and help you relax. So you can check that out. And the link will be on the podcast description, and it's in the beginning and the end of this episode. So get your chill pill from Mudwater. It's delicious. Sassy Pants. Sex during a pandemic, cool or not? Here's the thing about sex during a pandemic, why you have to be careful. You have to be careful because A, you could get pregnant. And are you in a financial situation where that's okay? Are you fiscally fit enough to raise a child? Because I don't know if you've been in the streets, boo. I don't know if you've been out there in the streets, boo-boo, but it is thick with disparity and homelessness. So if you're going to have sex during a pandemic, be smart. Make sure you don't get pregnant. Make sure you also just don't, just throw all caution to the wind. Just be smart about it, because you're either going to catch COVID or a child. A kid, you're going to get COVID or a kid. You don't want a COVID kid. So no. The answer is no. Devotion 8. Hanging out with new boyfriend equals my butthole just clamps up and I'm super constipated. It's such the poop situation, the shit situation. When you're with somebody new as a woman, we want you guys to think we don't poop, and it's so hard. There's been so many scenarios where I have to shit and I'm with a new guy, and I just literally I coerce and convince my body to take it back up the pooper shooter. Take it back up. You can't sit here. I'm like the little girl on Forrest Gump on the bus. Well, that's Jenny. I'm like all the mean kids. No, there was one mean girl. You can't sit here. Remember, I think there was a little mean bitch on Forrest Gump. Can't sit here. That's what I say to my poop when it tries to come out of my butt if I'm with a new dude. I know you guys think, oh, she's so cool. She doesn't care. She'll poop around anyone. No. But I know how to poop in a person's house without them even knowing it happened. Maybe I'll make a video, not like showing poop, but just showing you what to do if you get into a messy shit situation. So, girl, listen, if you're hanging out with your boyfriend and you clamp up, you get super constipated, this is what I would recommend. I would recommend trying to poop before you see him and maybe also take my advice on how to poop while you're with him. There's a whole, look, you need some good spray. I recommend Poopery. It works. You need, I'll just tell you because you maybe you won't be able to find it. And if I put it up and I can't tag you and you guys need this information. 1, you need some spray. Poopery works because you have to spray the bowl beforehand. It kind of coats the toilet bowl and it gets the farticles ready to be consumed by the smell. That's right. I said farticles, not particles. They are fart particles. So why waste time? Farticles is a more economic word. 2, you're going to want to line the bowl with toilet paper first. Let me repeat number 2 again. Line the toilet bowl with toilet paper first in the toilet, so that when you poop, it catches the poop and it almost wraps it up like a present and you can't even see it anymore. Also put toilet paper along the seat because he probably doesn't clean his seat because he's a boy. The third thing you're going to want to do is right before you poop, give her another spritz. Boop, little ch. Give her a little extra ch. Poop 1 more before you poop. Okay? Poop. Right as you feel you're about to poop, flush the toilet. Flush the toilet. I forget what step, but there's about 4 or 5 steps now. Somewhere in there, if you feel like it, because of the proximity of the bathroom to where he is, run the water. He probably knows what you're doing, but he's also probably considering the fact that he might get some of that poon on and he's not even worried about it. Run the water, just in case there's a little bit of noise. If you're shy about the water, I have an alternate. This is a little bit gross, but it's effective. So we have to pick and choose our battles. If you feel like it's going to be a vocal poop situation, if you feel like your butt's going to sound like a trumpet from Cuba, I want you to put toilet paper on your hand, and I want you to put your hand where your butthole is, and you're shushing your butthole. You're just applying a little bit of pressure so some air can come out, and you're muffling it enough so that it doesn't make any noise. You might want to try this step at home to perfect it so that when you're out in the field, you're confident in your ability. Step number 62. You're going to want to flush the toilet, and you better not clog the toilet, because if you clog the toilet, there's only one solution. You have to burn the bathroom. And I don't mean light a match. I mean, you have to set the bathroom on fire because you will never, ever recover from that. So I hope you guys got all that. Make some notes. Get back at your girl. Let me know how it turns out. Okay, devotion. Let's see how devoted you are to that butthole. Karim, LOL 1. Does size matter? If yes, what's the average needed? Size matters, but much like men make certain concessions, women, we make concessions too. And the one area where we can't make a concession is if your penis doesn't fill our vagina. Now, I might be speaking out of turn here and maybe not speaking for every woman, but I dated a guy once who was a beautiful man, very successful, just, you know, he was a doctor and dark hair, blue eyes. Like, he looked like fucking Clark Kent. He was just a beautiful man. His penis was like an order of tuna nigiri. Now, if you're a sushi fan, tuna nigiri, it's just the tuna on the rice. And I'm being generous. But it literally was about this big, hard, and gone in 30 seconds. Like, literally not even gone in 60 seconds. He was gone in 30 seconds. Done. That was it. He wasn't even a minute man. He couldn't even hold out to a minute. And I tried. Oh boy, did I try to make that work. Tried so hard because he was, a very successful person. He was a plastic surgeon. And I was like, hey, if somewhere down the line and my face starts to fall, this guy would be perfect. I know it's totally shallow and in all this, all the things we kind of talk shit about men for, but women do it too. And also I was in my 20s. And also I was thinking about my future. So is it just shallow, or am I a really good planner? Am I thinking ahead? Do I have goals? I think it's the latter. I think I'm just a bitch with a plan. And I knew this man could help me achieve it. But that teeny dick stood in the way. He didn't even stand in the way. He just kind of slumped over. It wasn't quite a stand as much as it was just a lean. And I had to let him go. But when it comes to, let's see what your question was, what's the average needed? That's dependent on the puss, because I've also heard from men that vagina sizes vary from person to person too. Vagina sizes kind of fluctuate. And, for me, if I said I needed a large dick, then that's me just letting you know that I have an enormous vagina, and I don't. I have a tilted cervix. I did get told that once. I do have a tilted cervix. I just imagined a ride at the state fair when she said tilted cervix. I imagined the tilt-a-whirl, and then I threw up in my mouth. But it's important for it to have a little bit of girth and a little bit of length. Not too much, not too little. It's like, it's a scenario where you just got to have just enough, but almost too much. Almost too much is perfect. But here's the thing. Beyond the size of the dick, it's who it's attached to and what you want out of your life. Because I can just have like a big dick and an asshole, and it's like, well, this is just sex. And if I want just sex, perfect. But if I want something more, well, then sometimes we have to make concessions. And sometimes we have to, accept a little bit of a smaller penis. Not that it's small. It's just that it's hard to get all your box checked. I'm not getting emotional. I'm burping. I know I have acid reflux talking about big dicks. See, I'm not meant to have a big dick. Even my throat can't handle it. When you go to go look for a house or an apartment, what are your boxes? What are your requirements to walk through the door? Well, I want a yard. I want square footage, and I want a washer, dryer, and a refrigerator. I want all the appliances. Same thing with relationships and people. You got to know what you're willing to walk away from and what you are not willing to walk away from. You got to set your standards. And those standards should align. The physical standards should align with the personality and emotional standards, Because if you're just going after size and you get an asshole, well, you can't be mad. You didn't put out into the universe that you had other intentions for your relationship. So my requirements are from men to be your own success. You've got your own career going. You are well-traveled. You're kind, compassionate, generous. You're thoughtful. You've cared for something other than yourself or someone other than yourself, whether that be a parent or, not that I want you to come with a kid, because I've already done that. And already it's a little bit murky, but if you have a kid and you actually take care of them and show up, that might be a different situation, but we'd have to discuss it. But I guess I'll take that back because I'm going to date Brad Pitt and he has 14 kids. So if you have a kid, that's great. But you have to make sure that all of the things you want, like, do you want a relationship? Do you want a fling? Do you want a friends with benefits scenario? Just make sure that you're aligning your desires with the size of the vagina or the dick. Does that make sense? Karim, LOL. Let's see a couple more here. Is it possible? It's Rico. Is it possible to fart info into another butthole? Took me a second to read that. Why would you want to? I think this might just be a funny question. I think, just to answer the question, that it is possible. I think you probably could put a lot of things into another butthole, including secrets. I know for a fact, because of videos that Josh Wolf will not stop sending me, that you can put a lot of stuff into buttholes and a lot of things come out of buttholes. And he sends those just unsolicited. But can you fart into another butthole? I don't know if you'd want to do that. It's very intimate. I feel like you'd be bonded for life and you want to make sure that that's something you want out of that person, because I'm pretty sure a fart bonds. But B, I don't know what the sanitary guidelines are there? Like, will your farticles hurt somebody else's butthole? I'm going to say no. I'm going to have to do a hard pass. I think that there's going to be some medical issues there. I don't think your farticles should be in other people's holes. But then again, when you fly airplanes, you're swallowing people's farticles all the time. So maybe it's not as bad as we thought, because if it were, we'd have some COVID-like regulations about farticles and the air filtration system. So I'm a doctor, not a scientist. Some of these questions I just can't answer. Randy402, what's your favorite flower? P.S. Hope your mom is doing well. My favorite flower is a tiger lily and a moon gazer, and I have both of them tattooed on me. They're okay. The tattoo's not that great. It could be better. You guys have probably seen it before. I'm going to show it on my OnlyFans account. It's funny. I asked my mom a whole bunch of her favorites, like what her favorite things are, and her favorite flower is a lily. So her and I share the same favorite flower, and I didn't know that. I thought for some reason that she liked a different flower. She has so many flowers at the house. She grows a lot. Has a green thumb. She has a green thumb, and so do I, but mine's from weed. XX Draven Decays. How do I not fail math? Fuck math. Math is such a waste of time unless you're going to go into a career or industry where you're actually utilizing that skill. What a waste of time. What do you do with math? It doesn't make any sense. I failed math all throughout high school. I had a tutor. I had a tutor every single grade, and it just never made sense to me. Never. I could never get it done right. I always failed. And that's the thing about the American education system. It's so standardized that it doesn't address individual learning, like the different learning curves that exist. You know, I'm a really smart person, but I'm really dumb in certain areas. So the education system sort of fails a lot of people because we all get this standardized equivalent of what the government thinks we should learn. And by the way, none of that shit permeates beyond school. We should be learning about finances. We should be learning about taxes. We should be learning about saving. We should be learning about investing. Also, how to grow our own garden. We should learn about a whole class just about female history, a whole class just about, diversity, and a whole class about the history of different cultures and respect of different cultures. And we should also have a class about like how to actually have sex, not what happens when we do, because we don't always get bloomin' onions out of our assholes. Yeah. So basically they're teaching us to be abstinent and to fail in society. Oh, I wonder why they'd want us to be pregnant and dumb. Well, when I think of the people in the country who are more easily swayed by things going on, I think of dumb pregnant people. And if you're one of them, I'm sorry, I love you, but you're probably being taken advantage of. That's why our education system is such a fucking failure. And if you can afford to send your kid to private school, lucky for you. How lucky for you. I was smart. You guys know I was school bused to a very smart school, but that was something that was provided. I was so smart. I was like Powder, and what was that movie with John Travolta where he could heal people like this? Phenomenon? Remember that shit? I was like a mixture of Powder and Phenomenon. They sent me to this like special school. I was school bused. You guys know that. But beyond that school taught me I learned astronomy. I learned Greek mythology. I learned English literature, acting. We did actual science experiments. It was that I was stimulated. Now the only thing that stimulates me is my vibrator, and it's a travesty. It really is. Not the vibrator. It's great. But I mean the education system. The education system is like a broken vibrator, basically. But maybe we shouldn't talk about education and vibrators because kids are involved, but it was just an analogy, and I'm not saying anything other than that. So don't get fucking offended. Let's see. What else we have here? Mongoose says relax. Wow. What a name. Do I need to be a D-bag to find someone? Do nice guys finish last? Do I need to be a D-bag to find someone? Didn't we have a question like this last week? Am I just redoing all the questions over? I never know because I have so many photos on my phone, and Debbie can only handle so much of my work that I give her. So hopefully this isn't a repeat. If it is, fuck it. Do nice guys finish last? Do I need to be a D-bag to find someone? Mongoose says relax. No. Nice guys only finish last with people who aren't ready to receive them. I think you should not be a douchebag. You should be who you are, and you should be who you are for you, not to attract another person. And it's really difficult, especially in this society where we feel like, it's harder to find someone just because we're comparing ourselves to everybody on social media and maybe not feeling ourselves and having a hard time finding who we truly are because we keep comparing ourselves to people who we don't know. But nice guys don't finish last. Be a nice guy. Be who you are. You know who finishes first are people who are true to themselves and authentic and who are just completely comfortable in their own skin. They will not falter in providing every person with a consistent way of being. Like, they're just themselves. They're cool in their own skin. They're not, these contrived sycophantic people who just want to impress other people to get something. Like, that's the most important part, is that you're your authentic self. And sometimes it's hard to feel like our authentic self because we're so inundated with so much technology and artificial lighting and TVs. I firmly believe that the way to reconnect with yourself is to get back out to nature, to do some shrooms. Woo! I felt love, y'all. I felt so much love from my shrooming out with the other tattoo artists. Shout out to Rose Hardy, Twiggy Sparks, Chris Nunez, Kevin Bartel, Miriam Lupini, Twig Sparks, Matt Breckenrich. All of them were amazing. We had so much fun, and they all were their authentic selves. I was inspired by them. So I think it's important that we learn how to live as our authentic self. Learn how to be just completely bold. There's a quote by Robin Williams: "You're only given a spark of madness. You mustn't lose it." It's just this little drop in the bucket that we have on this time on earth. And you've got a little bit of madness in you. Let that fucker out. Let him out. Let her out. Let whoever it is out, and be your full authentic self with no regrets, with no apologies. That's how I try to live. I try to live as who I am authentically every single day, with just reckless abandon. Totally out there, bold, raw, and real as I can be. Because that's when you start to attract the similar mindset. That's when you start, whatever you put out, you start to attract. So it's important to figure out who you are, and you have to strip yourself down. That's why I always talk about self-work and excavation and getting out there and getting some therapy and, destigmatizing the word therapy, because it doesn't just have to mean sitting in a chair, in an armchair with some other person in an armchair crying. It can be that, but it can also be, shrooms. It can be microdosing. It can be fucking switching from coffee to mud water. It can be exercising and hiking, and it can be surrounding yourself with artists and people who have different mindsets. People say I surround myself with like-minded people. That's the most stagnant, limiting way to approach life. All my friends in my life, anybody who I'm close with, we all have a difference of opinion in one area or more. And the more you surround yourself with people with varying opinions on life, the smarter you get, the more well-rounded you become, and the more grateful and humble you become. So do what you need to do to find your authentic self and live that way boldly, and to live it out loud, and to not be afraid of what people think. Who gives a fuck? Because most people have a poor image of themselves. Why would you allow somebody who thinks badly about themselves to Sorry. COVID. Choking. Let me say that again. Why would you allow somebody who thinks badly of themselves to hurt how you feel about you? You're going to allow somebody who thinks badly about themselves dictate how you feel about yourself? You're going to allow somebody who already has a poor opinion of themselves have a poor opinion about you, and you're actually going to allow it to affect you? Don't waste your fucking time, because there isn't a lot of time on this earth, you know? And I felt that for real last week, and I still feel it. You know, you really feel it when your loved ones go through difficult times. So I think that's the most important thing, is to just be who you are unapologetically. Unapologetically true to you is the way to live this life. Let's see if we've got some voicemails. I think we do. If you guys want to call in, call me at 513-916-0930. Leave me a voicemail. I will play it on the podcast. And don't forget, you guys, our sponsor for this week, our amazing sponsor, Mudwater. I'll give some more information before we sign off after we listen to a couple of these voicemails. But I live by this shit. I swear by this shit. It's not shit. It's amazing. This one specifically, it tastes like Christmas. It tastes like the holidays. Masala chai, cacao, lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, reishi, cinnamon, turmeric, and sea salt. It helps me so much. Coffee gives me so much stress and jitters, especially if it's non-organic, and this is organic. So do what you need to do to live a healthy lifestyle, and find ways to implement things into your life so that you can be your truest self. That's the goal, motherfuckers. Okay, let me get some of these voicemails here. 513-916-0930, 513-916-0930. Let's see what we got here. This is from Dawn. Where is he? Hold on. Why is this fucker not talking? Don, what the fuck? There we go. What the hell? Don, I don't know why this doesn't want to work. Wait. And try. Oh, maybe it didn't work because he fucked it up. It's definitely not my fault. Okay, here we go.
Hello, Jessimae. This is Don Jory again. I have another question for Dr. Paluso. This one is a little more serious. It's a little more real. I know you like the real stuff. I have allergies, and I have many different chemical imbalances, many things wrong with me. So I've been doing open mic stand-up, and I found that in order to reach a decent level of humor, I kind of have to loft myself on a geyser of different effects. I have to take allergy medicine, and in order to have the energy, I need a decent amount of caffeine or sugar, something to give me energy. So my question to you is it hard to find drugs as I don't know. I guess I didn't really have a question. I was just kind of the geyser thing was really the joke. Yeah, okay, never mind. I'm gonna think about it. I'll call you back. Bye-bye.
Okay, so I guess Don is called about 3 times, I think, here. Maybe he just had an issue before. First of all, Don, it sounds like you're trying to get me to convince you to do some acid before you do your stand-up and live your truth. Do what you need to do. But if you need substances to get the balls to do stand-up, you're not meant for stand-up or anything in life. That's not to say that we don't indulge and have like a beer and a shot or something like that. But my best performances are when I'm more sober, when I'm clearer, when I'm in the moment. A lot of comedians do enjoy and indulge here and there, but if you need allergy medicine and coffee and all that other shit, I mean, first of all, let's forget needing the energy for the performance. Let's talk about what that's doing to your body. Because if you're, and I don't know where you're doing an open mic during this time, but God bless. But the amount of open mics you need to do in order to get to the point of being a professional comedian, or even at my place in my career, like this is all I do for work, and it's taken years, like almost 20 years to get where I'm at. Can you imagine how my liver and body would be if I followed your pre-show routine? So I think you might want to figure that part out. But aside from that, stand-up is about speaking your truth and finding what makes you tick and things that make you unique. So focus on that instead of the coffee. And then, you have to realize you can't avoid the bombing. You can't avoid the pain that is associated with stand-up. It sounds like you're trying to create a scenario where you're not really connected, and that's the opposite of what stand-up is. You want to connect. So take away all the bullshit. Don't be scared. Don't be a chicken shit, and just go do stand-up sober, and do it sober for as long as you can, and find who you really are through that process. It's not easy. It's really, really not easy. Let's see. We got another one. Good luck, bud.
Hey, Jessimae, it's Will from Dark Days in Vegas on Instagram. I was basically, as a newer fan, I was basically just wondering, how you got your start, who your influences are, and whatnot. Let me know. Thanks.
Okay, so he wants to know how I got my start. I worked with people who told me I was funny back when I was like 19, which is almost 20 years ago. I know I look so good. I honestly was just a smart ass. I talked a lot of shit, and I put that to use. It's all about knowing what you're good at and finding a way to fucking exploit it. Finding a way to make it into something you can do as a living. Not just something you're good at, but also something you actually love. You guys impressed at how quickly I put that bun up? I just whipped up a bun so fast you wouldn't even fucking believe it. But yeah, you have to find out what you're good at and what you love, and stick with that. My influences: Robin Williams, Eddie Murphy, Richard Pryor, George Carlin, Joan Rivers, Jim Carrey, John Candy, John Goodman, Steve Martin, the entire Saturday Night Live cast. Also like Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan. Wanda Sykes. There's so many comedians I've been inspired by and who have not so much influenced me, but allowed me to know that this was something I could do for a living. I think it's important to be inspired. And obviously art it's all influenced by someone before. Every single thing that's created could not have been created without other people. So I fully am aware that those great comedians have influenced me for sure. But thank you for your message. Let's see. Got another way. Okay.
Hey, so I heard you today on the Ryan Slicker show. I totally said his last name wrong. Stickler. I don't know. Well, I've been just having this really self-awareness time in my life. I guess I'm going to be hitting 30. And on the podcast, I listened to you say that you've dated guys, and it's kind of like these toxic relationships, and you, at the end of it, you kind of question, what's wrong with me? But it's really, like you're choosing the wrong guys. And so that's basically what's happening to me. I really fell hard for this one guy, and what really sucks is just the sex was so amazing, and he has like a really nice penis, but like a really nice penis. And he was just a manipulator. I mean, like, he's a cop, so he kind of knows how to talk to people. He got really inside my head, and now, you know, he just kind of ditched me, and I just wanted to know if that's happened to you, where you met guys who are really great in the sack, and you, I guess, confuse that with love. Is that like something that has to do with because you don't think of yourself as much, and the only way that you can hook a guy is with sex, and not really look at a person and say, oh, this is a nice guy? Because I find it where if I meet a really nice guy, I end up not liking him, and I really like the assholes that treat me like shit, and I really get turned off by guys that are nice to me and genuine, and I know that they'll probably treat me right. So I just wanted to know if you've been through the same thing. Yeah, just let me know. And I just want to say that I really am a big fan, and I really love what you're doing, and I'm glad that you're doing it because it makes me feel like I'm not the only one. So I hope I hear myself on the podcast. Love you. Bye.
Wow. First of all, thank you for being so open with me about what you're going through. And I totally have been in the same position. Almost every single woman has been in the same position, and men too. We all date assholes. We date the quality of a person we think we deserve. Who we allow into our life is intrinsically representative of what we think we're worth. And it's okay. Look, I want you to know it's completely normal to go through a phase, and it better be a fucking phase, when you are with people who are below your quality grade. But sometimes it takes us a while to realize our worth. And the only way you can realize your worth is with some self-work, excavation. I talk about excavation all the time. I talk about doing self-work and self-care all the time. And it's the most important thing, because it's rooted in my belief that you cannot love someone else until you love yourself. And once you learn how to love yourself, you won't need the love of another person. And that's when love walks into your life. And you receive it, not because you need it, but because you want it and you know you deserve it. And the other important thing that I've been taught and have learned through therapy and working with a personal coach is the value of your relationship with loss. So much of our life, we live in the patterns of behavior we have basically represent our fear of letting go. We do a lot of things that are unhealthy because we're afraid to lose things, when all we're doing every day is losing. We're losing something every single day, and people have a hard time with loss. They have a hard time realizing that, they're not going to be with the same person, or their marriage is going to fail, or their job won't be around, or there's always a fear of losing something. And that's the worst reason to get into any scenario. You can't make a clear decision from a place of fear. Now, fear can be a useful survival mechanism and tool, but when it comes to love, nope. When it comes to love, absolutely not, unless you're fearful of your person because they're crazy and you need to get a restraining order. Boom, been there. Then you got to trust your fear. But if you're afraid to lose somebody, if you don't let that crazy person go because you're afraid you're not going to get anything better, that's when you have to start questioning yourself. But once you start questioning yourself, you're already there. I'm not sure what your name was. I think you might have kept it anonymous, but you're on the right path. Once you start questioning these things that you've questioned, you're already in a self-awareness stage, which is such an important stage to be in because it's what leads you into really working on yourself, really diving deep and seeing what your issues are. You know, my therapist and coach Breck Costin always talks about your core issues and your core problems, and what causes the main issue in your life will show up in every aspect of your life. And you also have to learn what your core communications are. And these are things I'll have Breck explain when I have him on. But basically, it's who we are and who we think we are two different things, and those muddy the waters of all of our relationships. And once you really learn where you're coming from, what your triggers are, and how you've processed or have not processed your trauma, because we all experience trauma, once you start to digest all of that and unpack it and then digest it, you really start to live lighter because you've let go of things that were holding you back. And I think you asking, why are you always dating assholes? Because you're an asshole. I say that all the time. You're the asshole to yourself because you think that's what you deserve. And that's okay. It's okay. Right? You're okay and you're not. And you should be okay with that because you can get better. You've already recognized, wait, why am I dating? Look, you already know a manipulative cop. And this is not a thing against cops. This is a thing against people who are manipulators. And you know what? Go ahead. Do your thing. I have empathy for every single human being on this earth because we all come from some form of tragedy. Even the very nature of our birth is a tragic event to the mother we're coming from. So, I'm very understanding. That's probably why I've been in a couple relationships where people are manipulative and I'm understanding. I'm like, oh, they need help. You also have to realize your intention. Do you want to fix people? Do you want to be fixed? Or do you want to have a healthy relationship? Because those are three different things. And you have to really manage how you're going into a relationship. I've always been the fixer. I've always been the one to fix dudes. I always, I'm like a car wash for men. They come through my shop and they leave shiny and new and some other bitch gets to drive them. I'm going to start a service. Okay? I'm going to start a service. Send me your broken ass dudes and I will fix them. I'm like Good Luck Chuck. But no more. I'm not doing that anymore because I know my worth. And you know what has given me the microscopic view of my worth? Losing things, losing my dad, being in an unhealthy relationship and having to get a restraining order, having to lose my virginity to rape, having been, mistreated and abused by men as a child. There are things that are lost along the way that humble a person. And I've learned through those losses that I can survive through them. Letting go allows space. And space is the most important thing for a human. Space. Space in your relationship, the space you're in, your environment, your headspace, space within your soul, and also what you're putting out into space. All of these things are so important for healing. And my sweet fan, whose name I don't know, you are in the right space. You're in the right headspace for some growth. And you're dating an asshole because you don't think you deserve a good person. And I'm here to tell you, Dr. Paluso is here to tell you, you deserve a good person. But you have to become a good person first. You have to learn how to love yourself first. And let me tell you, this shit's not going to be easy. You have to break the old you, and breaking hurts. That's why they call it breaking. You need to break your old habits, patterns, and behaviors before you become the person you don't want to be. Break it all. You've got to break it, and you've got to lose yourself. You've got to lose the old you. In order to become, a better version, a healthier version, and a more well-rounded version, you got to lose the old one. That's going to be fucking painful. Growth is painful. Growth is excruciating. Good growth is fucking excruciating. And it doesn't take overnight. It can be months. And sometimes you'll have a couple months of growing pains. That's why they call it growing pains. And then you'll coast for a while. And then a day might hit where you're like, fuck. And then you're down for a day, but you're back. And then you're coasting. And then you have months of growing pains. And then you're coasting for just a day and you're back. It's a fluctuating process. But once you start to retain the things that help you grow and let go of the things that make you slow, you will start to become the person you're meant to be. And that's where I'm at in my life. I just started to reread, what is it? Paulo Coelho's, is it The Alchemist? Is that what it is? I believe that's what the book is. It's a classic. And I just started to reread it because I'm in the same, it's The Alchemist. It's by Paulo Coelho. I can't pronounce his name, but you guys know the book. If you know the book and you're a reader and a nerd, honestly, it's about recognizing your purpose and becoming the higher self. You need to vibrate higher. And the process is going to be difficult, and there's no right way to do it, but there is a healthy way to do it. And it's just like Erykah Badu. She talks about the 5 or 6 doctors you got to visit every day. Dr. Spirit, whatever your faith or religion is or beliefs, you have to do that. Dr. Sun, get out and get some sun. Dr. Nutrition, Dr. Sleep, and I think like maybe it's like Dr. Greens as far as like nutrition. I might have fudged it up a little bit, but she talks about it, and it's an honest statement, and it's the way you should start your journey. Is what you put in needs to be healthy so that what you put out is healthy. So start to break yourself down, girl. We all need a little bit of breakdown to have a breakthrough. From my coach's lips to your ears, you cannot have a breakthrough without a breakdown. And it's painful, and it's gross, and it's ugly. But look at all the beautiful stuff that literally comes from shit. Flowers grow from shit. Food grows from shit. So you got to get into the shit in order to become who you're meant to be and grow away from dating assholes. No more assholes. You guys know that. No more for me. Brad Pitt. Brad motherfucking Pitt. Well, we've already gone over our normal time. I don't want to keep you guys too long. We'll have some more voicemails for next week. I have a whole bunch on the phone. And don't forget, you guys, check out the Patreon page. We have so many amazing videos that are going to be coming out. I appreciate your patience while I had to deal with my personal stuff, and I know it's been a couple weeks, and I apologize, but I really am grateful for you, and thank you for understanding. And share the podcast. Let your friends know about the podcast. If you want to call in, 513-916-0930 to leave me a message, and I'll play it on the podcast. Also, don't forget, we are giving you guys 15% off your order at Mudwater. You just have to go to mudwater.com/sharp tongue for 15% off. Use code sharp tongue at the checkout. And like I said, I stumbled upon this product when I was sick of what coffee was doing to me, making me jittery. In Mudwater, it's almost empty. I go through this like it's water. It's such a great alternative. There's, like I said, those medicinal mushrooms, the lion's mane, cordyceps, chaga, reishi, along with like all these other ingredients that are so good for you. Cinnamon is a really good alternative to sugar or having like cravings of wanting something sweet. Turmeric I use every day. It's an amazing anti-inflammatory. Sea salt has essential minerals in it for you, so don't use any of that other trashy salt. Sea salt is like one of the best salts you can use. It's just such a great product, and I honestly stand by it. It's 100% organic. It's vegan and gluten free, and they also have great recipes. Just go to mudwater.com/sharp tongue, 15% off using code sharp tongue. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube page, youtube.com/Jessimae Paluso. We'll have Weeds Day every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard now. We just moved the time back a bit. And what else is going on? BAM. Send me your BAM suggestions. Jessimae Paluso @gmail.com. Thank you for your patience with me because my brain is still fried from the mushrooms, my mother almost passing on, and my Netflix recording. I didn't want to say almost passing on because I'm still holding out. Please send your positive energy and your positive thoughts. She is doing a little bit better every single day. She's not out of the woods where the fucking little Red Riding Hood went. Nothing good happens in the woods, so we got to get Nancy out of there. I told that doctor when I needed some spirit in there and love in my mom's room. I also told that doctor, I said, listen, she needs spirit and love, but can you also go tell that skinny little bitch to get the hell out of that bed and get back home because it's sweater weather and we need to drink some boxed wine and go day drinking and shopping at Marshall's. And he said, I will do that. So if your mom is still with you and you have her near you, hug her. If she's far away, call her. Tell her you love her. Record yourself with her. Do whatever you can to learn more about her. Learn as much as you can about your parents and your loved ones while they're here. Trust me. Say everything you want to say. Do not be afraid to be vulnerable and live unapologetically. This life is short, it's brutal, but on the other side of the brutality, there's beauty. Know that you deserve more, that you are worthy, and that you have something to contribute. Find out what it is that you're good at and learn how to contribute and make that something that you strive for every single day. And love is powerful and love is strong. And I thank you guys for sending your love for my mom. I have been reading your messages. They have literally kept me from swimming in the deep end and putting on some concrete shoes and walking out to the fucking ocean. No, I'm not that bad. I joke, I kid, but I seriously thank you guys for your support. And we're doing it, you know? I got life beat me down a little bit, but I am back up and slowly recuperating from the emotional duress while my mom is slowly recuperating from her physical duress. So thank you so much. Live your life. Life is short. Live your truth. Don't be afraid to be you, motherfuckers, and stop dating assholes.